Hematopoiesis means the formation of blood cells, and it's so important to understand because sometimes mistakes in this can lead to various blood disorders like anemia or leukemia. Hematopoiesis, basically where we form blood cells, happens in the bone marrow. That's inside of our bones. That's a soft tissue inside of our bones. If you break open a bone, the inside is called the bone marrow. This is where hematopoietic stem cells are, and they're basically our entire blood production system. These stem cells have the potential to either make copies of themselves so that we have a steady amount of stem cells, or they can differentiate into various types of blood cells depending on what our body needs. When we look at the differentiation process, starting with hematopoietic stem cells, they can either go through the myeloid lineage or the lymphoid lineage. The myeloid lineage leads to the production of red blood cells, erythrocytes, platelets, thrombocytes, and some white blood cells like neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, and monocytes. These cells are very important for carrying oxygen, red blood cells, clotting blood, platelets, and providing a quick immune response, white blood cells. The other one is called the lymphoid lineage, and it gives rise to different types of lymphocytes. They're a type of white blood cells that includes B cells, T cells, and natural killer cells. These are important in our adaptive immune response. They help our body remember and fight off pathogens. The way that stem cells know which type of cell to become or differentiate into is when we look at the environment in the bone marrow, it has signaling molecules called cytokines and growth factors, and they send signals to the stem cells that guide their differentiation. For example, when there's erythropoietin, which is produced by our kidneys in response to low oxygen levels, this stimulates the production of more red blood cells. This is so our body can meet the demands like increased oxygen demand during exercise, or maybe there's a signal to make more white blood cells during an infection. When we look at erythropoiesis, this is the production of red blood cells. We see a system where you're making red blood cells. Red blood cells have hemoglobin in them, which is a protein that binds oxygen in our lungs and releases it to all tissues in our body. This is so important for body functions, and it's regulated to match oxygen delivery with demand. Leukopoiesis, which is the production of white blood cells, makes sure that our immune system is always prepared to defend us against pathogens. Each type of white blood cell has a specific role, like neutrophils, lymphocytes, so you make various amounts depending on what's going on in your body. That's why it's good to look at your blood cell count. Finally, thrombopoiesis is the production of platelets, which is important for forming clots so that a person stops bleeding or doesn't